Peter Griffin. Husband, father, friend, fat man, and alcoholic. All those things are true about Peter. But there is one more thing that best describes him. Peter Griffin is an idiot. And no, I'm not trying to be mean, but yes, Peter is an idiot. Still, that doesn't stop him from being entertaining. He is perhaps the most immature, brainless adult character in television who still manages to effortlessly entertain his audience.
Well, from this day forward, I, Peter Griffin, will never drink again.
Peter, what are you doing?
Crack?
What the fuck?
Hey, at least I'm not drinking, Brian.
But to understand the man Peter Griffin and why he acts like a simpleton most of the time, let's start from the beginning. And by the beginning, I mean way back to the time before his birth. In the episode Padre de Familia, we find out that Peter's mom didn't actually want the baby, so she traveled all the way to Mexico hoping to have an illegal procedure at the embryo bell. I know that sounds a bit confusing, so I'll break it down into a simpler term. She went to Mexico to abort the baby.
When I found out that your real father was a drunken Irishman, I went to Mexico to terminate my pregnancy. But God had other plans, and you were born right there. You were so beautiful, and I loved you.
Given the method they used while attempting to abort the baby, it's not such a surprise that Peter ended up being a dummy. They might have knocked his delicate brains out, and he never fully recovered from the hard blows. Right now, you must be wondering where his father was during this whole mess. Peter has two dads. His biological father, Mickey McFinnigan, who had no idea about his existence, and his stepdad, Francis Griffin, who got married to his mom shortly after he was born. However, Mr. Griffin was never around for the little kid.
Now the winners of the father-son three-legged race. First place, Bobby Hamill and his dad. Second place, Jimmy Lawson and his dad. Third place, Peter Griffin and a stalk of corn.
Peter would spend most of his life trying to build a relationship with Francis Griffin.
But I hope you know, I love you, Dad.
Peter, come closer. There's something I need to say to you.
I'm here, Dad. What is it?
Peter, you're a fat, stinking drunk.
Such kind words. Well, you can't blame him so much, since Peter was the one responsible for his condition.
All right, this is gonna blow you guys away.
Grandpa! Oh my God! Is he breathing? Somebody call an ambulance!
Lois, maybe you better call 2 ambulances.
Following the death of his stepfather, which led to a few discoveries, Peter made an attempt to connect with his biological father. But things didn't exactly go the way he would have loved it to.
Listen, this may be hard for you to believe, but you're my father. Who am I now? Yeah, I came all the way from America to find you. I just want to get to know you and be friends, so I can finally have a real dad who loves and respects me.
You can't be me son. You and me are nothing alike. Just ask me sheep, O'Brien.
Are you sure about the both of you being nothing alike? Like you, Peter is a loud-mouthed heavy drinker, and he even named his dog, which has a shocking resemblance to your sheep, Brian.
Boy, it's amazing, isn't it? You get 2 fathers, and neither one of them wants anything to do with you.
That kind of experience is definitely going to traumatize you.
You know what the worst part is? All I wanted was for my dad to tell me he loved me, but instead he called me a fat, stinking drunk. Those were his last words.
I know how you feel, Peter. That hurts. In the episode Don't Be a Dickens at Christmas, thanks to the ghost of Patrick Swayze, we get a glimpse into what Peter's childhood looked like when Mickey McFinnigan disappeared after knocking his mom up at an extreme bullfighting show. His mom, Thelma, got married to Francis Griffin. So while Francis was never present, Thelma also wasn't the most responsible parent. She neglected Peter.
Yay! It's Christmas! And I made your favorite, peanut butter chocolate chip cookies.
Wow, these are all for me?
Of course, Petey. It's Christmas. Everything's for you.
Yay! Cookies at 7 a.m. Thank you, careless parent.
Moving on. Although Peter sounds like an illiterate person most of the time, he actually did go to school. In the episode Running Mates, Chris gets into trouble at school and the principal invites his parents over for a quick meeting. During their time on the school premises, we discover that Peter also attended middle school at the Buddy Junior High School, same as Chris.
Oh my God. It's Mr. Fergus. He was my favorite teacher.
You know, a visit to your junior high is likely to trigger some old memories. And for Peter, one of his fondest high school memories is watching girls develop breasts.
I remember when I first noticed girls starting to develop.
Welcome to 8th grade orientation, everyone. Locker assignments will be handed out in the library after lunch period. If you have any questions about your locker assignments or your class schedule, please...
Well, puberty had a few surprises for Peter. No wonder Peter still has a thing for the good old days. He had such a fun time in junior high that he was willing to make a shocking trade for some good old music.
This song's from the 1960s. It shouldn't be in this jukebox.
Wait, can I have that record? I love that song. I'll let you have sex with my daughter.
That might just be a fair enough bargain. So, you are probably thinking Peter dropped out of junior high, or maybe he didn't finish high school. Well, think again, because Peter actually completed high school. In the episode Patriot Games, Peter gets a letter informing him about his 25th high school reunion, and worried that he might just be the least successful in his class, he decides to pose as a big shot.
Peter, this is ridiculous. Why can't you just be yourself?
Lois, just go along with it. Act like I'm a big shot.
Peter's idea of how a big shot is supposed to appear is, well, for want of a better word, dumb. It's the sort of disguise you would expect from a 9-year-old.
Oh, what's all this?
Oh, this? Oh, I just came from work. I'm a secret agent astronaut millionaire.
Cool. Where'd you get the cowboy hat?
Space?
Okay, first of all, if a secret agent tells you he's a secret agent, then you could be sure that...
He's a fake!
You got that right. Strange-looking Peter's high school classmate. Peter's story wouldn't be entirely complete without his friends Quagmire and Cleveland. You could add Joe if you want, but Joe basically became a friend of Peter's simply because they are neighbors.
You must be Peter. Joe Swanson.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Phil. You know, you got a neighbor on the other side of your house, too, so, don't think you always have to bug me.
On the other hand, Quagmire and Cleveland are Peter's oldest friends. Peter first met Quagmire when he was rescued by his naval ship after Lois's dad tried to drown him.
Hey, look, a manatee.
We can use it for soup.
Ensign Glenn Quagmire, welcome aboard. You picked a great day to get rescued.
Let's just say that Carter Pewterschmidt hasn't always been a big fan of his daughter's husband.
It's early Etruscan.
Oh, get out of here.
No, seriously.
Oh, that's great.
To cut him some slack, Peter didn't exactly make a good first impression. Plus, he was broke.
Oh, you'll know when I'm nervous.
Lois?
Now! Lois, take the rap for this. I only get one chance to make a first impression.
Now to Cleveland. In the episode Meet the Quagmires, we find out that Peter and Cleveland were members of the same country club.
Hey, Peter, slap me 5. Slap me 10. Round the side. And back again. Up high. Down low.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Peter might not be the ideal father, but he sure tries his best to provide for his family, except for the very many occasions when his father-in-law steps in to pay his bills.
See this? It's a mortgage bill, and this is how it gets paid. Mr. Pewterschmidt, it's Peter. Please pay my mortgage.
Damn it, Griffin.
I'm crying, Mr. Pewterschmidt. I'm crying.
I know you're crying. Act like a man.
I can't. I'm not a man. And if you don't pay it, I'm going to hurt myself and your grandchildren.
Stop threatening me.
It's not a threat if I do it. It's not a threat if I do it.
Okay, I'll pay it.
Thank you.
Such a responsible father. But before we talk about Peter's ability to provide for his family, let's take a look at how he met his darling wife, Lois Pewterschmidt.
Now give me a hug before I give you a knuckle sandwich. Huh? Huh?
Peter, I can't hug you. Peter, cut it out. Peter, I'm serious. Peter!
Don't be deceived by what you just saw. They actually do love themselves. In Peter Caviar Eater, Peter met Lois during his time working as a towel boy in Newport. Like we mentioned earlier, Lois's dad didn't approve of their relationship. You see, Lois comes from a wealthy family while Peter wasn't so fortunate.
My father had planned out my whole life for me. He wanted me to marry one of Quahog's up-and-comers. Tom Tucker, Elmer Hartman, Seamus, or Billy Zane.
At the end of their bidding war, Tom was chosen as the ideal husband, and Lois got engaged to him.
He's your king to be, oh king to be forever.
Unfortunately, we don't have the time to waste watching Tom do his fancy walk to his fiancée. Just know that things didn't exactly work out with the two. To win Lois over, Peter made a mixtape, which was a big deal back in the 80s.
Oh, Peter, I gotta say, the 4th and 5th time I heard Cotton Eye Joe, it really got to me. I was so happy. I knew Peter was the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with.
So, against all odds, including Carter's obvious dislike for the Union,
Now listen, Griffin. I want you to take this and stay away from my daughter forever.
$1 million?
$1 million.
No deal. Lois may be worth $1 million to you, but to me, she's worthless. I love her, Mr. Pewterschmidt.
Oh, Peter.
I don't think he really meant to call her worthless. He probably has no idea what he said. Back to what I was saying, against all odds stacked against him, Peter and Lois got married.
I now pronounce this the last straight marriage.
How romantic. True love prevails in the end. Without a doubt, Peter loves his wife, notwithstanding the fact that, for the most part of their marriage, Peter has always forgotten about their anniversary.
I'm in.
Peter, tomorrow's your anniversary.
Ah, crap. If Lois finds out I'm ditching her to play golf, she'll hit me with a frying pan.
Peter, of course you know what today is.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland's birthday.
And maybe another special day?
National Dachshund Day.
Oh, Peter, you forgot our anniversary again, didn't you?
What? No, I got you an awesome gift. But you can't see it until tonight.
You know, Peter cares so much about his wife that he almost let her get eaten by a shark on their anniversary night after he selfishly saved himself, despite her pleas.
Jack!
Peter, don't leave me to die out here! Peter, come back!
Such a sweet, loving husband. But Lois isn't the only one who gets to enjoy his weird expressions of love. Peter also loves his kids, like, heck, the cartoon is titled Family Guy. That should tell you a thing or two about Peter Griffin. His kids are so important that he one day abandoned Stewie at a park because he took another baby home thinking it's Stewie.
How the hell can you possibly mistake another baby for Stewie?
Now calm down, Lois. You're gonna say something you don't mean.
Oh, no, I'm not. You're an idiot.
Ouch, that hurts. But you can't completely heap all the blame on him. Peter himself behaves like he needs a nanny sometimes. Wait a second. Perhaps we were a little too fast here. Let's slow things down a bit. Peter and Lois have 3 kids. Meg, Chris, and Stewie, plus their talking dog Brian. Meg, his first daughter, is an outcast who's always struggling to fit in, both at home and in school. And Peter, being the dumbass that he is, he doesn't make it any easier for her, always finding a new way to shoot down her confidence.
Meg, your services will no longer be needed.
Peter's dads were never present, so he knows next to nothing about being a father.
Dad, what are you doing?
All right, Meg, this is only gonna hurt for about 3 weeks. What the hell?
Of all his kids, it's quite clear that Chris is his favorite. Well, apart from the dog Brian, who might just be his number 1 favorite. Speaking of Chris, it's fitting that Peter prefers him to Meg and Stewie because Chris is an almost bigger idiot than his father. The jury is still out on that one, though. But my money is on Chris to be dumber than his father.
Quick, shoot him, Chris! What are you waiting for?
How do I know which one to shoot?
What?
How do I know which one is the real dad?
Wait, we don't even look the same!
All right, when's my birthday?
Ah, crap.
February 8th.
Ah!
Dad!
You idiot!
He learned from the best. In the episode Peter's Daughter, we find out the probable cause of Chris's lack of intelligence.
Well, I'm not saying an abortion per se, but maybe you just drink and smoke a lot.
What?
Just don't stop doing it and then chicken out halfway through the pregnancy, because then you'll wind up with Chris.
Now, I'm beginning to see things better. Peter survived an abortion attempt, and Chris did too, albeit with different methods. But I feel it affected their brains. Moving on, the baby of the house is completely different. The kid is so smart that you doubt it's Peter's son. Stewie is one of the smartest toddlers ever, except that he spends most of his time plotting on how to take over the world.
You will bow to me.
And for the first 5 seasons of the show, he is constantly thinking about killing his mom.
Well, mother. We meet again.
Stewie, I thought I tucked you in an hour ago.
Not tightly enough, it would seem. And now, you contemptible harpy, I shall end your oppressive reign of matriarchal tyranny.
Oh, you can play with your toys tomorrow.
Overall, Lois proves to be a worthy opponent for Stewie as he fails to prevail. Despite his ingenuity and his ability to build machines that even NASA and the military wish they had, Stewie was unable to defeat his mom. Now let's turn our attention to the final member of the Griffin family, their perverted dog Brian. Brian, on a number of occasions, has tried to get down with Lois, but let's not go there. Peter and his dog get along pretty well. In fact, it's safe to say that the dog is his favorite member of the family, just narrowly edging out his wife Lois. As they say, the dog is man's best friend. In the episode Portrait of a Dog, we see how their relationship began.
No thank you. I just had it cleaned. Oh, jeez.
All set, sir.
I don't have any change. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's okay. No charge.
Oh, wait. You hungry? Because, my wife makes us beefaroni casserole out of this world.
Peter might not be the smartest, but he sure has a kind heart. In the episode The Juice is Loose, we discover a shocking truth about the family. Peter and Lois had another child, but due to Peter's negligence, they lost Peter Jr.
It's just so horrible.
I'm sorry, Lois. I thought if I shook him enough, he'd stop crying. I was kind of right.
Yeah, you were. The baby did stop crying. Earlier on, we saw Peter's unique technique for getting the bills paid, but don't be mistaken. Peter is an honest, hardworking American, except the time he mistakenly committed welfare fraud.
Mr. Griffin, don't you think you should have alerted the government of such a gross overpayment?
Well, I was gonna call him, but my favorite episode of Different Strokes was on. You know, the one where Arnold and Dudley get sexually molested by the guy who owns the bike shop?
In the episode Death Has a Shadow, which also happens to be the series pilot, Peter loses his job at the toy factory after showing up to work with a hangover, leading to a series of errors.
It seems the Happy-Go-Lucky Toy Company of Quahog, Rhode Island has released several highly unsafe toy products into the retail market.
Peter, I am aboard. Your negligence has damaged this company's reputation. You're fired!
Oh, geez, for how long?
For the rest of your life, dummy. Being the loving father that he is, in order for his family not to go hungry, Peter applied for welfare.
Guys, our money problems are over. We're officially on welfare.
It's not as if Peter is a lazy man. It's just that he would rather be seated on the couch watching television. Now, that's hard work. Peter in the episode A Fish Out of Water bought a fishing boat and began working as a small independent fisherman. After being jobless for so long, he became obese. The fitness level of a middle-aged, hardworking family man.
Well, you at least have to do something other than sitting there eating.
All right. Brian, let's go for a walk.
Eventually, he gives in to his wife's demands and buys a fishing boat at a police auction.
Oh, Lois is right. I've been out of work too long. Oh, yeah, now that's a job. Fresh sea air, working outside. That's how a real New England man makes a living. Everybody, I have an announcement. I am gonna drop this weight and rejoin the workforce. I have decided to become a professional fisherman.
And now, our next item. Please direct your attention to this photo of a beautiful 40-foot fishing boat.
Oh, man, that's perfect.
$12,000.
$13,000. $25,000.
Yes!
Oh, crap.
Thanks.
And now, the actual boat itself. Do I have an opening bid for the boat?
$50,000.
Now, that was a narrow escape. Thought that was crazy? Wait until you hear what Peter names his boat.
Yes, she is, boys. The SS more powerful than Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and the Incredible Hulk put together.
Peter's still acting like a teenager. So, to raise the $50,000 needed to pay for the boat, Peter has to take out a loan, and being the dummy that he is, he didn't bother to read the contract.
Peter, did you read the fine print on this loan contract?
If by read you mean imagined a naked lady, then yes.
Peter, listen, the bank's taking all our stuff. And according to this, if you don't pay them within 48 hours, they get the house too.
Oh boy, I get to go live at the bank!
Well, let's ignore Chris. We all know only he can match his dad's stupidity.
Good evening, Stevenson residents.
Chris, honey, we've been over this 1,000 times. It's pronounced Griffin.
Hi, Mom!
Hi, Chris.
Back to Peter's boat, he somehow figured out a way to clear the loan, but unfortunately, his boat, which is supposedly stronger than all the superheroes put together, is destroyed when, out of desperation, Peter and his friends embark on an ambitious expedition to catch more fish on a private island.
Here's to fish.
Hey, could I have one of those?
Hey, Death, what are you doing here?
Me? Oh, I'm here 'cause of that.
And their vessel was swept to the bottom of the briny deep.
You know, this wouldn't be complete without an appearance from Peter's pal Death. Now, with no job and his boat destroyed, Peter has to figure out another way to put food on the table. In the episode Jungle Fever, Peter goes to the unemployment office in search of a job.
All right, Mr. Griffin. Jobs you think you would be suited for. Let's see what you wrote. Cowboy, astronaut, warlock, more powerful astronaut, beer expert.
Yeah, and I need something that pays more than my last job.
At least he isn't selling himself short. Luckily for Peter, he lands himself a job.
Huh. Turns out there's a job opening at the Pawtucket Brewery.
Wow, that sounds even better than when I got paid to take part in that study.
But for a man like Peter who lacks self-control, working for a beer company will have its negatives.
Hey, Meg, what's with all the beer cans?
Oh, my dad got a job at the brewery, and he gets lots of free beer. Actually, he's kind of been going overboard lately. Oh, my God.
Hey, Meg, you see my pants? Oh, Lois, by the way, we're out of toilet paper.
Now, I don't know who Lois prefers, the unemployed couch-sitting Peter or the Peter who works in a brewery and drinks himself silly half the time. Surprisingly, Peter didn't lose his job at the brewery. In fact, it happens to be his longest-running job, as he still works there today. Unsurprisingly, his longevity at the brewery is largely due to the adjustments the company made to accommodate his excesses.
Mr. Griffin, since you can't control your drinking, you've been demoted to the shipping department.
Oh, come on!
This is your new supervisor, Angela.
At least they didn't fire him. In general, we can say Peter is doing a pretty decent job of keeping his family together. After all, no family is perfect, not even that of the almighty Family Guy. Meanwhile, thanks to Stewie's time-traveling escapades in the episode Stu and Stewie's Excellent Adventure, we get to see what the future looks like for Peter Griffin.
Hi, Vanessa. Well, don't you look nice? Oh, no, I broke my hip.
You need some help, Dad?
Nah, I'm good.
Looks like over the course of the years, Peter has been taking lessons on how to be a pervert from Quagmire. Can't be friends with Quagmire for that long without picking up some bad habits. How about we switch attention to Peter's personality? By now, it's clear that Peter isn't the smartest. In fact, it wouldn't be unfair to describe him as stupid. The episode Petarded confirms that his intellect is so low that Peter falls just below the mentally retarded category. Just in case you didn't get that clearly, Peter's IQ is lower than that of a retard. We discover this when Peter, in a bid to win some free money from a grant reserved for geniuses, takes an IQ test. And the result?
Well, here they are, Brian, my test results. Read them and weep.
Peter, according to this, you're not a genius. In fact, you're mentally retarded.
Oh, yeah? Well, would a mentally retarded guy have hired a bulldozer with a drunk driver to level half of his house in celebration of his fantastic test results?
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Guess we now know the answer to that question.
So, as you can see, you are just over the line of mental retardation.
Don't you mean just under the line?
The day I'm corrected by a
That sums that up. Peter, being the giddy teenager, even starts to flux his retarded status.
Wait a minute. You're Peter Griffin, the retarded fellow.
Yeah?
Oh, well, then don't worry about it.
Wait a minute, you mean you're not even gonna call the cops? Oh my God! I could get away with anything!
Only a retard will see that as a flex. Still, Peter's mentally retarded state doesn't stop him from being one of the most important characters on TV. We all love his personality. The fat, overweight guy with big round eyes, a round nose, and a big leaky mouth. Peter is also a heavy alcoholic who is prone to accidents, which are often either as a result of his clumsiness or cluelessness. Either way, when Peter Griffin is around, no one is safe.
And on the 6th day, God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creatures and..."
Bible fight!
And that's all for today. Kindly like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our equally entertaining videos. See you soon.